most people scroll past the silence. You may want to stay for this one. Welcome to the Embodied MG. My friends call me C, so if you're my friend, feel free to call me that. I wanted to make a little greeting, a little field activation for this subliminal channel and to really talk to you, because I believe that frequency and words is really important. And when you set an intention that guides your attention, right? So I want to, with this video, guide your attention or a little bit, attention to the silence, to the pause, to what's not being said here on this channel. And I had a nice coffee, but it's empty now. I just finished it. But I want you to grab something that you love to drink, whether it is coffee, tea, or iced. Specifically, I love iced soy lattes are my faves. Always and forever. All these fancy milks don't do it for me. I go old school. But grab your favorite beverage and let's talk about the thing that a lot of people don't catch with the world that we're living in, and with everything moving so quickly, with social media moving so quickly, with us having to hook people, right? Where people scroll past the silence. And as a body and energetics teacher, and I've been teaching this stuff for 13 years, so it's I'm pretty old right now. Not old. I keep saying I'm getting old, but I'm not. I feel like I did when I was 25. But with this experience that I have underneath, it is really hard for me to sit by passively and accept that this instant gratification, dopamine chasing collective energy that we are experiencing in the world right now, the impact of that is going to have a consequence, right? It's going to change how society operates. It's already changing it, but long term, I always think long term about everything, right? So long term, the collective field is going to be really different unless people like you and I, people who appreciate pause, silence, people who step out of the hamster wheel on purpose, people who take the time. I was watching some YouTube videos that showed up on my feed the other day, and I absolutely adored the pause, right? That made me stay. The fact that there was no filling of the pause. It was a reset of the environment of the whiteboard. Neuro knowledge. I didn't come for the knowledge, but I stayed for the pause, because after he set it up, he took time to just wipe the whiteboard down, and there was no filling of it. And I was like, this is the frequency. We don't need to always fill the space. We don't need to fill the gap. We don't need to add more. I believe from a subconscious change perspective that less is more, because the subconscious will always try to keep you safe, right? And safe is familiar. Safe is the same, right? It's not necessarily what will get you what you want. And if you have time to pause, you're in a frequency of abundance, right? Urgency is a trauma response. And the one thing that I reacted to the most when trying to find a subliminal creator that vibed with my energy was this hunger to add more, add more, add more, 10x, 100x, 1000x. And I'm like, this is all lack. It is a very subtle frequency of lack. It's a very, you need to be very advanced or expanded in your consciousness to pick up the fact that this quantity frequency is actual lack. It's ground in lack. There's lack beneath there. But I didn't want that energy into my field, into my change, into my subconscious. So I kept looking, and someone said, well, why don't you make your own? You've been recording meditations for 7 years. You've been recording classes. You've spoken, frequency into us. And I also, a couple of years ago, I composed some music with some workout classes that I did because I couldn't find like the right kind of vibe in other like buying music. So I just like, I'm just gonna have to do it with myself. And then I created like composed music that went with some high intensity interval classes that I did actually. And I'm like, I can do it myself. Let's try. Right. And now we're here 3 months later. And it's working, right? It is, because it is the frequency. You are ready for that sacred pause, for that sacred, hey, what's really beneath this, right? Urgency is a trauma response. And this is why, if you're ever thinking, I'm running out of time, I don't have time, that is not your indication to be more productive. It's your indication that your nervous system is not coping well. So it's going to keep you the same, right? It's not going to help you change. And when we feel like it's not enough, also again, this is not enough is not just lack. It is a limited worldview, because if you knew who you were, you would know that you are a part of the whole, and the whole is a part of you. And we have all our needs, all our resources met on this planet if we are or live as who we were born to be. And that's not to say that there are not systems in place that keep some people in lack or keep some people without resource. But from a personal development perspective, we cannot be the same and expect change, right? We have to be the change, and the change is going to cause us discomfort. And so if you come here and you find that you're uncomfortable with the silence, you're uncomfortable with the fact that some subliminals have 5, 10 affirmations, most have 50, some have 20. Like there's always a reason why I cap it at that. None of them are sped up, none of them. And they're all spoken by me. And I mix you and I affirmations in there, but they're not just spoken by me. And this is another thing that I found with all of these other subliminal channels, is that they're using AI voices, and they're using voices that don't have emotion, right? And it's this amazing thing about us as humans, is that we become who we're around, right? You've heard that before, but I'm going to break it down for you right now. We become the nervous system of who we're around, right? And that is the key, because we as humans, we can sync up with the people around us, or link up with the people around us. And there's this thing about having a dominant nervous system, like in a room. And as a yoga movement, mind body fitness teacher, I could walk into a room and change the energy of the room, because I could change the energy of the emotion. I could sync them up to my nervous system of peace, of presence, of excitement, of joy, of thrill, of growth, of, all of these incredible emotional states. And with my subliminals, I wanted to bring that in, and that can't come through an AI voice. No matter how much they can speak the word, they can't emote the emotion. So every single affirmation isn't just a word, it's an emotion. And what do we know about manifesting a new reality? Your emotions is the attraction point, right? The emotionally charged thoughts attract. So we want the emotion frequency in there. So every single subliminal has the emotional frequency of that, of expansion, of abundance, of gratitude, of joy, or whatever emotion is attached to the affirmation. And I truly believe that is where we will see change, when you can feel the emotional shift of the subliminal, right? But again, frequency is expansive. So going from a very low, dense emotional state to a very high one in an instant isn't the way, right? Our just like our brains have that neuroplasticity, we have to repeat movements in order to make movements effortless. We have to repeat habits in order to make habits effortless. Everything requires repetition. And when you understand the body and the mind and the energetics from this perspective, you understand that it's about the conscious choice. Having already made the conscious choice of turning it on, you're already changing, right? Pressing play, you're already changing. You've already started playing with what if this was true, right? You've already started playing with that. However, when we then start to dive a little bit deeper into why do I feel like this needs to change? Why do I need to change here? What feeling is below this perception of reality that I don't already have? What I'm saying yes to by pressing play on this. That is where we get into the nitty gritty of where emotion really needs to play a more vital part in reprogramming our subconscious and our nervous systems, because emotions are meant to run through us. We can only experience feelings. Feelings are experiences of emotion. We can only experience them for about 90 seconds, but then you'll have a thought that has you re-experience that over and over and over. And this is where we go in and we have to stop. We have to choose our thoughts. And by choosing our thoughts, we can choose our feelings, right? And by choosing our thoughts, we can choose our feelings without bypassing. And the silence and the pause that I'm introducing in this channel by tuning the frequency of unnecessary off and allowing you to revel in the abundance of what is, when we don't go chasing for more, when we're coming from an element of enough, of all needs met in the moment, then change becomes a natural side effect. Because you are in an open state. You're in an open, abundant reality. So reality has to change because your perception is that, right? Rather than thinking that I'm going to go here because this is where more is more and more and more and more. I'm getting more from this. But are you really? If you're walking out with no change in your state, are you really? If you're walking out feeling like you don't have time to do all of the subliminals that you really wanted today, right? Feeling like you don't have time to do it all. Are you really changing? Because urgency, again, is a trauma response. And we want to rein those subtle frequencies within our fields back in. And we can't do that if we don't pause, if we don't accept the silence and see what comes up when the space and the void isn't filled with distraction. Right? When the space isn't filled with distraction, because that's often what this more urge is. Did you see how I left the pause there? I always love that when I'm like, nope, not yet, not yet, not yet. Most people won't make it to this part of the video. So you're here. I celebrate you. I celebrate our journey together. Please do not hesitate to leave ahas, breakthroughs, feelings, emotions that you're experiencing in these subliminals in the comments. A lot of the time, comments, people are wanting results. Teachers are wanting results. Creators are wanting results in the comments. I know you're going to get results. I don't need those. I want to hear about your experience of it. I want to hear about your process. I want to hear what you're thinking about, what you saw today, what you noticed today as a result of this, where you picked up a pattern. Like, tell me about the experience. Share about your experience so that we can all elevate our experience of life together, because that's really what this is about. It's about expanding and elevating our experience of life. It's not about a goal outside of you. It's a goal about right now. It's the journey. So those are the kind of results that I would love to have in the comments from you guys, from you specifically, right? You and all of you. And I also want to guide you because I had some questions about where my meditations went. And I did have meditations on this channel, but I decided to start a second channel because the energies are a little bit different. And so I have a second channel now where all of my guided meditations are. And that channel is called Salt and Ether, because both of the ocean and the Akash are my big loves. And that channel has one meditation posted every Friday. It's a guided meditation to the collective that we're picking up on, that I'm tuning into. So you will find what's resonating with you. It's, again, spacious, simple. There's lots of negative space, just like here, because negative space, the ability to be in spaciousness, is true abundance. It's the true now. And there's often more said in the silence than with words. And if you haven't yet checked out my silent subliminals, I do recommend that you do that, because those are epic. And always make sure that if you at one point can hear any of the words, one word here and there, no problem. But if you can hear words consciously because you have amazing hearing, I guess, then make sure that you tune it down to where you can only hear the hum of the words, not the actual pronunciation, so that your conscious mind picks it up. We want the subconscious mind to be working with these affirmations, not the conscious mind. Okay? The conscious mind is already on board. You pressed play. You made it here. You subscribed. You liked. You engaged. You're already on board in the conscious. Now we have to get your subconscious on board. So that means turning it down low so that the conscious mind can't hear. I am sending you so much love to continued growth. I want you to walk into the world today and be all of you, more of you, all of you, more of you, and expand into a higher frequency expression of who you came here to be and who you are in every single moment. I'm sending you all of my love. Until we speak again, goodbye, my friend.